War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and our FLGS partner, Warpfire Minis. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Today we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. My name's Jordan. I'm joined by John again today with your Stormcast.
Here we go.
Our second game together on the channel in the new edition. So some spicy new additions to the army, some changes.
Had a chance to really settle into the book and sort of get a better sense of what we really need, what we want to be doing. So excited about that, and we'll see how this goes. Yes, sir.
And as you said, you're playing your Stormcast. I am playing the Idoneth Deepkin, as voted on and chosen by our channel members. So they always have a say on generally what armies I end up playing.
Totally.
But the mission we're playing today is Border War. So we've got 4 objectives on the table. The scoring is a little different, where it's 1 point for your home objective, 2 points for each of the middle objectives, and then 5 points for your opponent's home objective, to a maximum of 6 though. So if you score them all, hold them all, you can still only score 6 points, but then 4 more for your battle tactic. Then the twist on this one is if you are the underdog and you are on the charge fighting for your opponent's home objective, you can get +1 to your hit rolls. So a few different caveats to that, but a little boost there if you're trying to go for that home objective and catch up in points or something.
Yeah, it's worth a lot.
Yeah. But then, John, do you want to take us through your list first?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be playing a Vanguard Wing Stormcast army today. That means that any of my Vanguard units on a 3-up can teleport. And I'm bringing Krondis, who is our best 2-cast wizard. He gets +2 to cast. He is flanked by some Praetors to give him that 5-up ward, which makes his 20 wounds effectively 30, which is really nice. He has a bit more punch this season, or this edition, than he had before, so he can sort of get up there a bit more forward to make sure he's dispelling spells, to make sure he's putting out endless spells. He has a bit more utility than I think he did before, though he has a lot of points. I'm bringing a unit of Vanquishers, also bringing a lot of shooting. I have 2 units of Vigilors, which are off the board right now, and then I've got a unit of 6 Long Strikes. Long Strikes are still incredible. I have a Knight Relictor, who's one of our priests. Our prayer lore is very good. Translocation is huge. We have a heal prayer. We can add an attack to an infantry unit, so pretty nice to have him around. And then I have a unit of Vanguard Paladors who have had one of the biggest glow ups. So excited to run those tonight. Nice.
Well then, facing off against you, we've got again the Idoneth Deepkin, and well, we are in AOS 4. I'm bringing a list back from AOS 2, back when we were running all eels, and just trying to double down on maybe one of the more efficient units in our army. I think it's a different book than it was in 3rd edition, some big changes, so just trying to adapt to those and just see how it goes. But starting off, we do have Volturnos here, who is my general as a War Master. He has a unit of 6 Morsar Guard in his regiment, and then 2 units of 3 Ishlayan Guard in his regiment. And then I have the Eidolon of the Sea, so the casting one this time, wanting a little bit more casting power. He's got a +1, 2 spells, and some good spell options here. And then in his regiment are 2 more 6-packs of Morsar Guard. So again, 18 Morsar Guard on the table in total, 6 Ishlayan, and then my 2 heroes. And my battle formation is Ferocious Predators, which will benefit all my mounted stuff because the companion attacks get +1 to hit, which is really nice. And then for my enhancements, my Eidolon has the Ancient Pride Heroic trait, so he can only be hit on a 4-up in combat. And then he has the artifact Delicious Morsels, so in the movement phase he can heal D3 health to cavalry units within 3 of him. But that's it for the army, and then I just took the Incarnate as my manifestation lore. I can't not bring this model on the table.
That's good.
And then with the Eidolon too, I'm only 2 casts in this army, so I don't have a ton of spells that I'm gonna be slinging all the time, so might as well double down and try and make it a good one.
And for the enhancements, I'm going to be bringing Mirror Shield on my Knight Relictor, as well as Staunch Defender, which will let me sort of defend this home area. And then for the seasonal rules, I'm going to be choosing anti-cavalry
Okay.
because you have a lot of cav.
Yeah, I assume on your
on my
Paladors.
Paladors, yeah.
And then for the seasonal honor guard, I am going to give priority targets to the unit of 6 Morsar with my general, so they will get +1 hit and wound against units in your general's regiment. But then, John, we were both 2 drops here, and you did win the roll-off to choose attacker and deploy first. So you're gonna have choice of who gets to go first in this game.
And I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay, sounds good. So we will jump into Idoneth Deepkin, turn 1. All right, so my battle tactic here is gonna be take the flanks. So I have to have a unit within 6 inches of either short battlefield edge and not wholly within my own territory. So should be pretty doable. And then for spell casting, we might as well start with the Incarnate here. I will be +1 to cast. And we're gonna get it off on a 12. So we're gonna put this front and center to buy me a little space. And then I'm actually gonna try and cast Steed of Tides here for the second spell. And that'll just barely go off on a 6 because of the Eidolon's +1.
Okay.
And I am gonna teleport the unit of Morsar Guard from the General's Regiment. And that's it for my hero phase.
All right, so I'm going to attempt magical intervention, try and get something out on the board as well. We're going to use a command point, and we'll be -1, so he'll only be +1 to his casts. And I'm going to attempt to put out the Burning Head. And that'll be on an 11.
You got it. And then we'll get into my movement phase. And that's gonna be it for my turn here. So no action yet, but we got a lot of the things I wanted out, which is namely the Incarnate and then be able to complete my battle tactic and jump on both of the side objectives. So I will store 1 point for my own objective, 2 for each of the side ones for 5, and then 4 for my battle tactic, bringing me to 9 for the turn, which is a good spot to be. And with the teleport and kind of movement, I kind of repositioned my army so can try and stay relatively safe and make it a bit interesting of where you're and when you bring down units. Trying to force you to overextend or take some risks. Mm-hmm. Again, Incarnate's in the middle, so he is also a force that you have to deal with in one way or another, so that's not too bad. But John, that's gonna be it for me. We can jump over into Stormcast Eternals, turn 1.
Okay, so my battle tactic for this turn will be attack on 2 fronts. So I'm gonna have to take 2 objectives that I don't control, and one of them has to be from you. The Knight Relictor is going to attempt to pray Bless Weapons. So that'll be on a 6. He gets +1, so that's 4. So he does not get it, but he will have 4 prayer points. Cronus is gonna cast Gnashing Jaws. So he'll be +2. And that'll be on an 8. Condis is now gonna cast Lightning Blast. So that's gonna be on a 7. So he gets it into them. D3 mortals on 2.
We take 2.
As well, I'm gonna give these guys Finest Hour for this turn.
The Vanquishers?
Yeah.
And I will spend a command point here for magical intervention, and I'm going to cast Steed of Tides to try and teleport. And we will get that off on a 7, and I'm going to teleport my 1 unit of Morsar Guard to tow this objective.
Okay, so Stormcast is gonna move into movement now.
The Vigilors and Longstrike Raptors fill out the ranks and join the battle from Deep Strike.
That's it for my movement.
All right, I am going to spend a command point here to redeploy my Ishlian Guard.
Yep.
And they'll move the big 6.
Whew. Okay, so we're gonna go into shooting. Okay, we're gonna shoot first with the burning head. 3s, 2s, yep.
And it goes through, so they'll take 1 damage.
And then he takes the damage as well, right?
Yeah.
Kronus is gonna shoot his Blazing Tempest. It's 1 attack going into them. It's on 2s and 3s. Okay, so it's gonna be Ren 2.
So 6s, goes through.
D3 plus 3, 4 damage.
So you'll kill 1.
And then we're going to shoot at the Kronspine over here.
The center unit of Vigilor shoots next, but only deals a single damage to the Kronspine. Then the other unit of Vigilors uses all-out attack and kills 1 Ishlane guard. The Paladors are next to fire and kill another eel. Then the long strikes shoot and finish off the unit of Ishlane guard.
And that will wrap up shooting. So now we will go into charging. Let's charge with the burning head first. 11. The Vanquishers will charge. Okay, that's gonna be it for my charging. So we'll go into combat.
And on a 3-up, the Ishlayan will make the Vanquishers -1 attack, which they will.
I am gonna use an all-out attack because it's the end of the turn.
And I'll go for all-out defense.
The Vanquishers fight first and deal no damage, and then 1 unit of Ishlane guard takes down the burning head. As the battle heats up, the Stormcast Eternals go on the offensive, bringing all their might down from the heavens and taking an aggressive position to reclaim this land.
And that looks like it'll be the end of my turn. I'm gonna score 9 as well.
Yep.
And that way we don't have any underdog.
Yep. Tie game right now, and
Yeah.
you've brought your stuff down, so a bit more reinforced than you were.
In that turn, I was going to try and take his home objective by sort of charging the boat from landing close to it, because you don't have to be outside of 9.
Automatic charges. Basically.
Yeah, and Jordan was kind of onto that, and so you like redeployed forward. So that made that option like much less viable.
Yeah.
And I knew if I sent something out there, they're just gonna die. Probably better to reinforce another area. And I knew I could still get the battle tactic. I didn't have to take that.
Yeah.
So that's what I chose to do. Killed that 1 unit that was over here with shooting, even though you redeployed 6. I think in the end, that's actually great because I was hoping to charge something in other than the Paladors to kill them so that they wouldn't be in combat. Mm-hmm. But we'll see, where that all lands. As we go to your next turn.
Yeah, so interesting here. Mostly all the screens are done, so we don't have to get into the action now. And we'll first, I guess, jump into priority for round 2. That's a 6, we got the shark. And here, I think I'll take it and just, let's get into the fighting and go into Idoneth Deepkin turn 2. Okay, so my battle tactic this turn is to be do not waver, so I have to have 2 units fight and none of my units slain this turn.
Nice.
And then for spell casting, the Eidolon is going to start off with Steed of Tides and get that on a 12. And he is going to just teleport himself. And then he's going to cast his War Scroll spell, Tsunami of Terror. And we'll get that off on a 9.
Well, I don't have a plus, but I'm going to try to dispel it. So 9. Nope.
And he'll get to pick, here there are just 2 units, but he'll be able to make both your Paladors and your Vigilors -1 to save. And that's going to be it for my hero phase.
So I'm going to use a CP for Magical Intervention, put up a little bit of a roadblock.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go for Burning Head. So that'll be a 7.
I'll try to unbind it. No, we don't. And then we'll head into movement. So everything's got run and charge this turn, so I'm going to start with my Morsar in the middle. For 3, going 17. And we're going to use at the double with Volturnos for 6-inch run. And then under retreat, my Ishland Guard, they will suffer D3 mortal wounds for 3. So one will die, and the other will take 2 wounds. And that's it for my movement.
Okay, I'm gonna try to redeploy the Paladors and hopefully keep him out. No.
1 inch.
Come on!
And then in shooting, my Eidolon is just gonna shoot at the Paladors. It'll be 3 shots on 3s and 3s. For 1 at Ren 2.
Save.
And that's all my shooting.
Okay, I'm going to cover fire with the long strikes. Hit 4s and 3s. So 4 at Ren 2.
So I'll be on 6s here. And all of them go through, so you'll take down 2 eels. And then into charges, we're to start with that 4-pack of Morsar because they're angry now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna make it in with a 6. And then they will unleash their Biovoltaic Blast. Because you have more models after killing some, I'll get +1 to the rolls. So it'll be 2d3 plus 1 mortal wounds for 7 mortal wounds here. And then we'll charge with the 6th pack of Morsar in the middle for 5. And they're gonna unleash their Biovoltaic Blast into them as well. So 2d3 mortal wounds for 4.
Yeah, that's another one gone.
And then we'll go with Volturnos, who will make it in. And then the last unit of Morsar for a 5. And then the Incarnate. And that's it for my charges. So into combat, Volturnos is going to use his once per game ability, Supreme Lord of Tides, to give +1 attack to 3 units. Surprise, it's going to be my 3 units of Morsar Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to activate first with this unit of 6 Morsar on the right, and I'll be able to put 4 into your Paladors and 2 into your Vigilors. And I'll be +1 to hit on everything because of my sub-faction and the King.
The Morzar deal an astonishing 26 damage between the Paladors and Vigilors, completely taking out both units. The other unit of Vigilors then deals 5 damage to the Incarnate, which fights back and kills 3 of the Vigilors. The next unit of Morsar Guard uses all-out attack and easily wipes out the entire unit of Longstrike Raptors.
And I will get to pile in my other units that charged, so I'll do that real quick.
Charging in like the cavalry of old, the Idoneth Deepkin's aggression pays off as they deal a massive blow to their enemy's forces and assert total dominance over the western flank.
So Deepkin turn 2 was pretty much all you can hope and dream when you're playing an eel spam list like this. Again, felt a lot like AOS 2 where you kind of just, if you get the opportunity to dive all in and I blew 4 once per game abilities here. All 3 of my Morsar units using their Biovoltaic Blasts and Volturnos using his +1 attack bubble. So it's the deadliest I could have ever been, but obviously this was the time, especially because I also got the Eidolon spell off for -1 to save on the Paladors and Vigilors. And even like Volturnos and one of my units of eels didn't get to attack, but still worth, again, committing everything. You do have to bring half a unit back at some point, so we all know how easily Deepkin can go down to. They're fragile, so we're definitely not out of the water yet, so to speak. But again, as good of a turn as I could have hoped for.
Yeah, you rolled a couple good runs too to get that extra distance.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 of the charges that you got by 1.
Yes.
So it was good.
Yeah, and there was a world here in which I actually could have sent 6 of the Morsar for your home objective.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get the King in for make sure he was in range for the 12-inch aura and the +1 attack.
Yeah.
But maybe it would have been better to go for the home objective and score 3 more points here because I will only score 7, being that I hold my home objective and 1 side objective for 3, and I complete my battle tactic for 4 more points.
Nice.
Not a crazy lead or anything. Obviously here went for the throat more than the points, so hopefully it'll pay off in the long run. But John, that'll see us head into Stormcast Eternals.
It's gonna be scrappy now. Okay, so I'm going to take their lands, and I'm going to take the objective over here.
The terrain
There's
piece?
a terrain piece over there.
Yeah.
After activating the Place of Power, the Night Relictor chants for translocation and teleports the Vanquishers. Krondys then fails to banish the Kronspine, but does cast the Emerald Life Swarm.
That's going to be it for my hero phase.
And I will then spend a command point for magical intervention and try to cast a teleport spell, but we'll fail.
So now we'll move to movement. So I'm going to use Envoy of Heaven's drop in, bring this half unit back. I'm going to do it just at 12, the Kronspine, so that they can at least get their shots off.
And I will spend a command point to redeploy the Eidolon for 6 inches.
Wow. All right, so Krondys is, we're going to go into shooting. Krondys is going to use his Blazing Tempest over on that little guy over there. It's on a 2 and 3, so that's Ren 2.
Goes through.
And that'll be 4 damage.
You take him out.
And we're going to use the shooting on the Paladors for 4s and 4s into the Kronspine. 1 at Ren 1 damage.
I save it.
Wow. So the end of shooting. Okay, we'll go into charging. And we will charge Gnashing Jaws into the Kronspine. Here we go. That's a 9. All right, here we go, 5 ups. Oh, so 5.
All right, you'll kill an eel and deal another wound.
Okay, so we're gonna go into combat. I'm gonna go first with Ravanax.
Ravanax's Gnashing Jaws fight first, and it kills 2 more eels. Then, the Kronspine attacks the Vigilors and leaves just 1 alive. The single Vigilor deals 1 damage back to the Kronspine. Then a unit of Morsar Guard deals another 7 damage to the Jaws. Lastly, the unit of Vanquishers deals 5 damage to the Gloomtide Shipwreck. Rebounding from the early devastation, the Stormcast Eternals adapt their battle plan, taking a strategic lead and standing strong in the face of their foe.
Okay, so that's the end of my turn. I score full, 10. So you will be the underdog.
Yeah, very good turn of scoring and tying a few things up, which was as much as you could have hoped for.
So priority. Let's do priority.
Yes, sir.
3.
Another 6 for the Deepkin, and I think we'll take the turn here, so let's go into Idoneth Deepkin, turn 3. I'm gonna go for take their land here for my battle tactic and just choose this terrain piece to try and control. And then the Eidolon's gonna try and activate the Place of Power, which he does. And he's first gonna try and banish Ravanax's Gnashing Jaws, which we do. And then he'll just try and teleport himself with Steed of Tides, which I'll get off on an 11. And he's gonna shoot himself over here. And that'll be it for my hero phase.
I'm going to use Magical Intervention and cast Gnashing Jaws. Gets it on a 9. So
We'll try to unbind.
that'll be a 10.
Nope, you got it. And then into movement. And that's it for my movement. So I'll go into shooting with the Eidolon into your Vanquishers. 3s and 3s. For 1 at Ren 2.
Goes through.
D3 damage for just 1.
Okay.
And then charges, we'll start with these 3 Morsar Dart first. For a 5. And then the other Morsar. So with strikes first this turn, I'm just gonna start with these 3 Morsar Guard, and they're gonna use all-out attack.
All right, they're going to all defense over there.
The eels kill 3 Vanquishers. Then another unit of Morsar Guard kills the last Vigilor. The lone Vanquisher is last to fight, but is unable to do any damage. Trying to seal their victory and eliminate all resistance, the Idoneth Deepkin have to split their forces, but still remain in control of the battlefield.
And that's going to be it for my turn here. So, did exactly what I needed to do with Deepkin. It wasn't glamorous. I would have loved to do a little bit more, but this is kind of just what I was hoping for, which is to put pressure on both my home objective, make it, you have to put resources over here to maintain control again or regain control. And then I will similarly store my 10 points here from just the side objective and your home one. So 10-point turn for Deepkin, start of the round.
All right.
And yeah, we'll jump into Stormcast turn 3.
So Stormcast is going to do seize the center.
The Knight Relictor chants for translocation and teleports himself. Then Krondys banishes the Kronspine Incarnate.
His War Scroll spell onto these guys. That's going to be an 8, so Adavatus Tempest on an 8.
I'll try to unbind it, and we do on a 10. And then I will spend a command point for magical intervention, and I'm going to try to summon the Incarnate back. Mm-hmm. We fail it.
So we're going to go into movement. We're going to auto-run these guys so that we can really position them in a good way. Okay, so I'm going to go into shooting.
The Burning Head deals 2 damage to a unit of Morsar Guard. Then the Paladors take down an eel from another unit.
Okay, that's going to be it for shooting.
And I will spend a command point here for covering fire with my Eidolon, just in case we can do something to the Vigilors. Sure. We'll have 2 hits, 2 at Ren 2.
Takes them both.
D3 damage each for 4.
Dead. They're dead. So I'm going to go into charging, and I'm going to attempt to charge with Krondys, and that's going to be an 8. Ravenex, it's going to be 10. Impact Mortals. Okay, 1, 2. That was too fast. I only got 2. So he's going to charge 4. He's in. So I'm going to roar with Krondys. So it's the same as the old roar. Now they can't use CP.
I do have fight first though, so I'll get to attack with all my Morsar Guard. So we'll have the 2 into Krondys first.
Krondys uses all-out defense, and the Morsar Guard only put 3 damage through his armor. Then another unit of Morsar uses all-out attack and takes out the Burning Head. Ravenak's Gnashing Jaws kill another eel. Then Krondys wipes out the last one. Regaining ground and holding on to their advantage, the Stormcast Eternals take the fight back to their enemy, remaining in the lead where it counts.
All right, and that's going to be my turn. I'm going to full score. I got my battle tactic, and yeah, that's what I got to keep doing, is trying to full score.
Yes, yeah, keep it up. Mm-hmm. Going into priority for round 4. That's a 3. We tie it, and I win ties, so I'll take the turn. And we'll go into Idoneth Deepkin, turn 4. All right, so battle tactics are getting tough here, and I'm gonna go for seize the center. So we gotta kill a few things, but it's definitely possible. And then for spell casting, I'm gonna start off with the Eidolon's Tsunami of Terror. And we'll get that on a 10.
Nope.
I get it, and that'll just be on Krondys for -1 to save. And then we're gonna try and cast the Incarnate. And we get that on a 9.
Okay, you can try to spell that too. Nope.
So the Incarnate comes back. And that's gonna be it for my hero phase.
I'm gonna spend a CP and attempt a translocation. It's gonna be on a 5, which sucks.
You do. More units to kill now, so we'll just go into movement then. And that's it for my movement.
Gotta redeploy Krondys. I rolled another 1. Great.
And then we've got shooting, and I'll go with the Eidolon into Krondys here, and I'll use all-out attack. 2s, didn't do anything for me. 3s. So that'll be 2 at Rend 3.
So both go.
For 4 damage.
Okay, wards. So 2 damage.
And then into charges, I'm gonna start with the Incarnate. There's not enough room to get into the end of the spell, so I can't use 3d6, so it's looking for something big. We get a 9, and that redeployed, coming up big, saving you there. So then I will go with all my stuff in the center. We'll start with the 4-pack of Morsar.
6.
They are in. And then the other unit of Morsar. And then Volturnos for 6. He's gonna have to re-roll that into a 9. So I'll start off combat with the first unit of 4 Morsar Guard and put all their attacks into the Paladors.
I'm gonna all defense them.
The Morsar Guard kill 1 Palador, and the others retaliate and kill an eel in kind. The next unit of Morsar Guard splits their attacks, wiping out the rest of the Paladors, but only killing 1 Praetor. The Knight Relictor misses completely. Then Volturnos attacks the Praetors, but only manages to kill 1. The last Praetor deals 2 damage to the High King, and Krondys takes out the Gloomtide Shipwreck.
And then I will spend a command point to power through here with Volturnos. So he's going to do D3 mortal wounds for just 1 to the Praetor, and then he'll get to move his 12 inches.
Crashing into the center, the Idoneth Deepkin continue to take down their enemies. But the combat prowess hasn't yet translated to strategic success.
So that's going to be it for my turn here. I knew the battle tactic was going to be tough, but I just kind of had to go for it. I'll have some more options in turn 5, but this was the most viable one this turn. And I just didn't quite get it. I wanted to get more attacks in. If I had got those 2 Morsar into your hero, they could have taken him out. And then, but the king still, Volturnos didn't finish off the Praetor, so it didn't matter here. I would have failed it either way with those units living, or either of them living. But obviously still a devastating blow. So while I didn't store my battle tactic, I will still score 6 points for the primary objectives that I hold. I'll cap at 6. But I'm in a pretty good spot here. It's just gonna come down to who can scrape what points together in the final couple turns. But that's gonna be it for me, and we'll go into Stormcast turn 4.
Because a unit died last turn, I'm going to give my Knight Relictor a 5-up ward until my next turn. Because he needs to survive if I don't get him out of there. So we're gonna put everything on the hope that the Knight Relictor is able to roll a 4-up for Translocate. And we're going to take the flanks. Let's start with casting. Okay, I'm gonna cast Thundershock, which is -1 to wound. That's gonna be on a 7.
Jaina, can you roll 2 dice?
Here we go, Jaina.
Roll them together. We tie it on a 7, so you get it.
Okay, so that's gonna go on the bigger unit here. I'm gonna attempt to cast Starfall, and I do not cast it. All right, it all comes down to this: can the Relictor self-translocate?
Yes! Again, another one.
Oh my goodness. So that's the end of my hero phase.
All right, I am going to spend a command point for magical intervention, and we're going to try and cast the teleport spell. And we're going to get it off on a 9.
Okay. And we didn't stop it.
Okay, we're going to teleport the Eidolon over to the center of this objective.
So for movement, I'm just going to move him back and forth to
Life
heal.
Storm.
Yeah, Life Storm back and forth to heal Krondys 3. So he'll be on 2. He'll be on none taken. So I'm gonna auto run Krondys 18. Okay, great. So that is movement complete.
I will spend my last CP to redeploy my larger unit of Morrsar Guard for 2 inches.
Okay, great. So now we will go into shooting. I have no shooting available. And then we will go into charging, and I will charge with Gnashing Jaws. The 5. Gnashing Jaws, mortal wounds. 7 mortals.
I do have a 5 up ward here. We'll save 3 of those, so not too bad. We do take 4 damage though.
Okay, and then we'll go into combat.
Ravenek's Gnashing Jaws deals 7 damage to the Eidolon, who then fights and deals 3 damage to the Jaws. Backed into a corner, the Stormcast Eternals rely on the will of Sigmar to guide them through the darkness, getting just what they need to hang on in the battle.
So that's basically it in my turn. I was hoping to max score and get this, but you know, I got lucky with my dice and got the translocation. You got lucky with your teleport.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's fair, I think. So you were able to stop me here.
Yeah. There was a world in which I left the Eidolon just to like redeploy onto the objective, but that all depended on what you did. And you
I was gonna leave. I was gonna charge you with him, so you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
So he
redeploy.
was gonna be there. Yeah.
Kind of like you charge exactly. You're gonna pay.
I was gonna be at 3 blocking, and then you know.
Yep. So tried to deny a point because Cronus had the potential to touch the objective and complete the battle.
Yeah, you did deny the point, and I think that was great.
So it'll be a 9-point turn.
Yep.
Sizable lead for the Stormcast, but obviously dwindling resources, more in favor of the Deepkin here on this turn.
Yes, priority is super important.
Yes, it is. Let's go into
Can I get one?
round 5.
4.
That's the
Again,
Deepkin
another
fish.
6.
Yes.
What? How?
It's a different game for me in AOS 4 apparently.
Third time tonight.
Yeah, I'm all about the prios this edition. So
Wow.
So we'll jump into Deepkin turn 5. All right, so my battle tactic this turn is going to be Reclaim the Realms. So I have to have a unit in each table quarter and outside of 6 inches of you. And then the Eidolon is going to go for a banishment of the Emerald Knife Swarm, which will get rid of it. And then the Eidolon is going to try and cast Steed of Tides and get that off on a 12. And we're just going to teleport him far away. And that's going to be it for my hero phase.
Yeah, so I'm doing Magical Intervention to use my Night Reliquer to translocate. I didn't get it this time, even with the additional on 3, so I have 3 points, but it didn't work. I was hoping to try and maybe get over here, roll a 9-inch charge or something. I'm sure you would redeploy, but still, just do something to like maybe
Deny the
stop
tactic.
the tactic. Yeah.
All right, so into movement phase. And that's going to be it for my movement. And the Eidolon's not in range for any shooting, so I'm just going to jump into charges, and we'll go with the 3 Ishlean Guard first. For an 8. And then we'll charge with the Incarnate for an 8. And we're going to start combat with the 3 Eels, and they are going to use all-out attack here.
Okay.
So putting everything into the Praetor.
The Morrsar Guard only managed to deal 2 damage, leaving that last Praetor alive with 1 wound. Then he uses all-out attack and deals 2 damage to the Incarnate.
Well, the Kronspine's next, and he does have to kill this Praetor for me to get my battle tactic. So 6 attacks on 4s and 2s. We got 2. 1 at Ren 2.
5s. Here we go. Yeah! 5.
So he survives on 1 wound, meaning I'm gonna have to spend a CP to power through.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
And do D3 mortals for 1.
That's it.
Pulling out every stop to salvage the poor turn of events, the Idoneth Deepkin steady themselves, managing to complete their battle tactic and set themselves up in the best position they can.
And thankfully with power through, we were able to complete the battle tactic here by finishing that guy off and having no enemies within 6. So I have, again, a unit of Eels in each quarter and one of my heroes in each quarter, as far away from Kronus as possible. And all told, this will be a 10-point turn for me because of it. My goal here was not only to score points on my turn, but also deny them, which is why I so heavily reinforced my home objective. because I'm up 4 points right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hang on to that lead to get the win. So that'll be it for me, and we'll get to go into the final turn of the game and Stormcast turn 5.
Okay, so Stormcast is finally going to do its Do Not Waver. I only have 2 units, so they both have to attack, they both have to survive. Krondis has 2 wounds taken, not bad. He's going to have a 5-up ward that he's giving himself because a unit died last turn. Yeah, and I'm going to basically try and take these 2 objectives, and then best case maybe swing around over there.
You have a couple different plays depending on how things pan out.
Okay, so the Knight Relictor is going to attempt Blessed Weapons on himself. And he's going to use these 3, and he's going to get it. Okay, he's going to cast Atavastic Tempest on a 10.
Try to unbind it. We don't.
Okay, so they're going to be -1 to save. So he's going to cast Thundershock on a 13. So it's -1 to wound on the Kronspine. Okay, that's the end of the hero phase. Oh, and sorry, I'm declaring finest hour on Krondis, obviously.
All right, well, the Eidolon is going to spend a command point for Magical Intervention and try Steed of Tides for the teleport. We get it on a 9, or an 8 because the -1.
Nope. Wow.
And we get it. So the Eidolon's going to teleport just to throw some more bodies on the objective.
Yeah, okay, so we go into movement. That's the end of my movement phase.
All right, to deny the tactic, I'm going to redeploy with Volturnos. He's going to move 3 inches.
Okay, so we go to shooting. Kronz is going to shoot at the Kronspine, and that's going to be failed. So charge phase, Knight Relictor, can you roll the 9? Oh God. 8. So I'm going to pay it. Come on, 9.
5, fails it.
Fails it. All right. I'll charge the Krondis just for fun. 2.
He fails. Yeah.
That's the end of my turn. I don't have to use my Staunch Defender ability. I just get it in the end. So I'm going to score 4, which I believe is...
Yeah, leaves us tied.
I'm pretty sure it leaves us tied.
If our math is correct, we are tied, or one of us wins by 1. Yeah, we should be tied here. So there was a few paths to victory, though.
There was. Absolutely. I think, like, you had to run away from me here, which is so funny to see, like, the Murder King running away.
Yes.
Because if you came in and you didn't finish the job with his ability, I'm taking that. So.
Or exactly, if you got into combat and fought with both.
Yeah.
Even if you gave up this objective.
Yeah.
You would have scored 6 in 1.
And I rolled terrible charges over here, and then 2 1s over here.
Yes.
There was a move where I was going to be able to go in, do some damage so I get the fight if I had fought with him too.
Yep.
And then power through back and just gotten back here. We measured it out and it would be 12 easy. So that would have been kind of fun and interesting.
And there were a few moments that this turn kind of hinged on. One was the redeploy. If I roll a 1, then you both get to fight on the objective and get into combat a lot easier.
Yeah.
And then my Eidolon actually was kind of the nail in the coffin to deny my home objective.
Totally.
Because he just blocked it off, put 5 more bodies on there.
Yeah.
And then Kronus couldn't take it.
Yeah, because I had these 2 both going in, and he's going to do quite a bit of damage. He's going to do a ton of damage on Finest Hour. I could have wiped a lot of that.
But you're exactly that. Is it just not going to be able to do enough though?
No.
With everything in the way.
Totally.
But here, even with that and a few options, thankfully Deepkin did just enough to kind of shut the door.
Yeah.
But still scraped it together, and it'll be a tie game. True tie.
Absolutely. Teleporting, like, from both our sides was so powerful this game.
Yes.
Like, it took precedent, was needed. We rolled it more often than not. Like, it was really great.
Denied points on both sides with the Lord Relictor teleporting out and teleporting the Praetors in the way was a huge play, because otherwise I wipe the hero there and it's game over, right?
Totally.
Or storm on a tactic at least. So.
Yeah, I kept it super tight.
Yeah, so, and especially after we saw the devastating output of Deepkin when it goes all in.
Yeah.
But that was my whole army into half of yours.
Yeah.
And I even said at the time, though, the game's not over. And I knew it because I've played with Deepkin so much that just a couple things can chip them down and they won't have bodies.
Yep.
And held on. I mean, only for the tie though. So I think from a Deepkin perspective, after that big play, we're a little disappointed with the final. We couldn't pull it out.
And considering, because I thought the only route I had back at all was if I did get a double, and I never did any of the priorities. If I got it into 5, then I get full points, or close, not full, but close to, and then
you get the chance to score first. Yeah.
Yeah. But I never got it, and that was really the only route. And then there was sort of this like cheeky little thing that only really happened because you only had one battle tactic to do in the last turn.
Yeah.
And so you had to go the 4 corners and spread out. You had to be far enough away. So then all of a sudden, like, this was available, that was available. Like, it kind of shifted it a little bit.
Yeah.
Really great balance so far in this edition.
Yes, yeah, it's been wild. And there was, like you said, so many moments that, like, just little things that could have changed things. Even, I think, looking at my battle tactics, I dropped one, which I think was a cascading effect from the turn I killed the Paladors. I should have chosen to kill a unit in the enemy general's regiment, slay the entourage.
Totally.
Because that would have allowed me to do fight with 2 units later.
Yeah.
And potentially also open up, there's times I could have gone for taking 2 objectives from you where I went for different ones. And those kind of 3 tactics, either not being achievable at the right time or choosing the wrong one at the wrong time, kind of cost me a battle tactic when I had to go again all in the center.
Yeah.
But also took a Praetor teleport to deny it.
Totally. And the battle tactic is, I had to roll a 5, I think, or a true 4 or a 5 on that.
Yep.
But the battle tactics are interesting because I'd say they're easier than last season, but they all have opportunity cost in a different way that I find really interesting.
Yeah. Lots of counterplay. Like we saw exactly that on both sides. The teleports, namely being able to deny them, deny points.
Totally.
But it was a wild game for the bottom of turn 1 and lots of back and forth. So that's all the games you hope for, and you can't complain when it ends in a true tie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great game.
But John, we'll wrap things up there. Guys, everyone watching, we want to say a big thank you. We appreciate all the support. And don't forget, if you want to get an extra battle report every week, you can join our channel membership on YouTube to get access to those, as well as helping to support the channel, which goes a long way. But no matter what, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon in another video.
Thanks, guys.